What's up, my Nerf friends? Today we're gonna look at 4 new units that are going to be released in the second part of the Scarlet Amulet of Fate, and they are Amemori, Yao, Momo and Nansu, and one extra secret mysterious character. If you wanna know what it is, remember to stay until the end of the video. So let's start with Amemori first. Amemori is a 6-star Thunder Converter. Amemori, the Shadow of Ink. She's from the Independent faction and she's a Thunder Converters. When I first saw this unit, I am very surprised by her stats. 3600 for Converters. So I guess this pretty much breaks the whole spectrum of Converter has shit stats, especially attack stats. Well, that's not true anymore. Apparently, Amemori has one of the highest stats for Converters. It's honestly insane, but that does not mean she's automatically good. Let's look at her active skill. Shadow Trace. Consume 2 points of ninja power and choose one traversable tile to summon a katana. If a katana already exists on the selected tile, Amemori will teleport to the tile immediately and retrieve the katana, gaining 1 point of ninja power. This is actually a quite interesting active skill, and the way you get ninja power is at the chain combo. So her chain combo ninja power gain 1 point at the start of each wave and also every round, up to 5 points. So on the first turn, you are already starting the first wave and the first round. So technically you can already use your ability on the first turn to place out a katana. But since the first turn, you wouldn't have any katana on the battlefield, you're pretty much just placing it down. Now the good thing is, there's another way for you to generate the katana, which is her chain combo. Her chain combo, 2 chain, is 160% damage to 8 tile in a cross shape. The 8 chain is 165% damage to 12 tile in a diamond shape, and then summon 1 katana at a random traversable tile. I'm not too sure if the random tile is anywhere or if it's in the chain combo range. I assume it's anywhere, but we have to wait and see. So on the 8 chain, you can get 1 katana. On the 13 chain, you can get 2 katana. So 170% damage to enemies in one surrounding cluster, and then cross shape to the maximum range, and summon 1 katana each at 2 random traversable tile. So ideally, of course, you want to go for the max chain and get to katana on the battlefield. With katana on the battlefield, you now can actually use the katana to teleport. So back to the active skill, Shadow Trace. If you have already used your chain combo and let's say you landed 2 katana on random places, you can now use your active skill and teleport over there, and you spend 2 points of ninja power and get 1 back. So technically you are only using 1 ninja power to teleport, and remember, you gain 1 every round. So Amemori is a very interesting character if you want to have a way to teleport randomly. And she is probably the first Thunder unit that can teleport on a 0 cooldown basis. If you really think about it, it is 0 cooldown because, well, you could teleport every round if you manage to attack with her every round. You know which unit likes a low cooldown unit? Tessa. So in a Tessa team currently, there is no teleporters. So Amemori can very easily fit in there. Now let's look at her equipment. Katana Slash. After teleporting with active skill, retrieve all katana. Each katana deal 150% damage to the nearest one enemy while ignoring their defense. The further the distance, the lower the damage. Minimum 20% of the original damage. If at least 4 katana are retrieved, 1 new katana will be summoned. If Amemori become the captain, she gain 1 ninja power, trigger up to 3 times per round, and captain changes for the battle +1. So this basically provides a little bit of a damage for her when you are teleporting. So basically when you're using your active skill, each katana will do 150% damage and ignore defense. It's not bad, but I don't think the damage is as high as you think, because at maximum you could only get 2 katana every round if you're able to get 13 chain. I mean, yes, you can use your active skill to place down a katana, but most likely you don't want to do that. You want to use your active skill to teleport, right? Because since when you teleport to a katana location, you get 1 ninja power back, and that's pretty important. So at the maximum, you are getting 300% damage every round that ignore defense. And that is the maximum because the katana drop in random location you're not going to get the katana always near the enemy you want to hit. So I would assume the damage you gain from this equipment alone is not going to be very high, and you wouldn't really want to use Amemori just for damage. But there is a but here. You could do pretty good damage on single tile monsters or bosses, provided if you have the luck. If of course the random traversable tile always landed near the boss, you gotta get pretty good amount of damage every time you use your active skill. But if you're unlucky, you're getting a kind of a Fafnir situation here where yes, your equipment can do some damage when you use active skill, but the damage is so unnoticeable, you almost just see it as an extra sparkle, just a visual effect at that point. So yeah, interesting unit, a lot of RNG in it. And we're going to talk about the next line here, which is if at least 4 katana are retrieved, 1 new katana will be summoned. Okay, so this kind of encourage people to not teleport every round if there's no need to, because well, if you have 4 katana, you get 1 extra katana. That's an extra 150% damage, not bad, but I think that's about it pretty much. Sure, if you have 1 extra katana, you can teleport again if you really want to. But for the most part, the extra katana will just be another katana where you can use the next turn. And when Amemori becomes the captain, she gained 1 ninja power, trigger up to 3 times per round. This is actually quite good as well, because if you think about it, when she becomes the captain, she has 1 less cooldown for her active skill, because since you gain 1 ninja power every round, you can kind of see it as 1 cooldown, right? So when she becomes captain, she reduces 1 cooldown. But in reality, is that good? There's so limited amount of captain swap. You're most likely able to use this once per game, maybe. And you don't really want Amemori to be the captain. I mean, sure, she can summon katana around the map. That's nice. She's obviously a better captain in many situations, but I see her as a unit that fits very well into a Tessa team. And for a Tessa team, you definitely want to use Tessa as the captain. So, is she good? Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely rough because she definitely have pretty subpar kit in my opinion, but does get compensated by the fact that she has really high attack stat. So while she can teleport as well as doing damage, it's a lot of RNG. The damage is RNG, the location you can teleport is RNG. There is a way you minimize the RNG is you have 4 ninja power and you can place 1 katana down, and then you select that katana you place down to teleport to it. So if you want a consistent teleport on a location you want, then it's 3 turn cooldown. Well, actually it's 2 turn cooldown because you get 1 ninja power back, but you need to have at least 4 ninja power to do that. If you can settle with any katana on the battlefield, then it's 0 turn cooldown. But if you think about a 3 turn cooldown teleporter, there's Michael. Michael is so much better, especially on bigger tile monsters. Michael just do way more damage. On a 1 tile monsters, Amemori can do more damage, provided if the katana is on the right location. But yeah, I don't know about that. I think Amemori is definitely a character you need to try in game first to get a feeling of her, to see how much damage she's actually contributing. If the damage is low, then I don't think it's very worth to use her. Unless you just want to build a Tessa team, then I definitely can just slap her in there and she will just do very well helping you build the stack of Tessa. But again, you have to summon katana somehow, and to do that, you need to put her to the captain. So yeah, I'm gonna give my initial scoring for her, and maybe after I tested her out, I'll give another opinion. So far, I think she is a 5 out of 10, pretty mediocre, but on Tessa team, she is 7 out of 10. A very nice addition, but I'm still kind of confused. One thing I want to mention is on stages that have infinite swap, like the one you found the Sublime, she can potentially gain 3 ninja power every round. So that's a 0 turn cooldown to teleport anywhere you want. How frequent do you have these type of stages? Not really, but it's nice to point it out, I guess. Next, we're gonna talk about Yao, the chivalrous heart. So she's a forest detonator, and whenever you release a new forest detonator, it's going to be quite dangerous because they are either better than Araya and Hero and be completely broken, or they are weaker than Araya and Hero and not be used at all. Because currently in Forest at least, there's 2 very strong detonator, and you usually don't need more than 2. So y'all need to be very good in order to replace Araya or Hero. And in my opinion, she doesn't really do that. Okay, let's get into that. She has 3600 attack stat. That is very high, definitely higher than most units, and defense and health is also equally very high, but most people just look at attack stat usually. So let's get back to the active skill. Heaven Sent. Swap position with the current captain and gain 1 stack of heroic mark. This round chain combo deal 2 times damage and to 4 adjacent tile. When the round is over, swap position with the Auroran at the end of the team. Wow, a lot of swapping around, huh? Seems like they really want to encourage the swapping team mechanic, but the problem is every single unit in this current event is different element, so it's very hard to manage. Can you make a rainbow team works just because you have all these swap mechanic? I don't really think so, but yeah, it's there. So what is this active skill? On paper, it actually looks a lot like Araya active skill, which is also 2 cooldown, and you buff your chain combo damage to do double damage on 1 tile because it's 4 adjacent tile. So if you're hitting for an enemy, you're mostly only gonna hit 1 tile. That's like Araya piercing, but only for 1 hit. You can see what I'm going from here. So when the round is over, swap position with the Aura at the end of the team. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You swap position. Is that good? Well, it doesn't really do much, especially in the Forest mono team. It can do something on like a team that has full of synergies of the swapping thing, but currently I still don't think they do make a good team yet, at least from what I see. So in my opinion, you can just ignore this line. So yeah, this active skill compared to Araya one, pretty bad. Araya instantly gives you 20% attack boost for herself, and every single attack from normal attack will get piercing. Piercing means if the enemy is bigger than 1 tile, every single normal attack you does is going to do double damage. But for Yao, he only does it to 1 tile, so 1 hit. You can potentially get more hits with Luis, for example, double chain combo. Sure, you use Luis attack to do this damage, but it is still double damage. So with Luis, 2 hits, great? Not really. It's kind of a shame, honestly, because she doesn't even seem that bad, but because Araya exists and she's so easily obtainable because you can literally get it for free by just playing through the story, there's not a lot of reason to pull for Yao other than, well, aesthetic and emotional reasons. Let's look at her chain combo, because her chain combo does something pretty unique. It's specifically on the last chain, which is 13 chain. Deal 170% to 24 tiles in a radial shape. 24. That is the first time I've seen this. It's a big range, but is it good? No. So in most cases, this doesn't really do extra damage at all. Let's say you're fighting one boss and the boss has a 4 tile size. You're still going to hit the boss maximum 3 times. And let's say the boss has a 9 tile size. You're gonna hit it maximum 5 times. So 1 more times than your 16 tile radial shape. I mean, yeah, it's nice, but a 2 cluster chain combo still gonna do way more damage. So even though it's 24 tiles, it's not really better than 2 cluster. It's just slightly better on a 9 tile size monsters, just slightly. Yeah, interesting, I guess. And her equipment skill, cross path, gain heroic mark, and heroic mark is gain 1 stack at the beginning of each round up to 7 stack. Each stack grants Yao 5% base attack, and the stack are clear at the end of the round. So you can pretty much get a 5% permanent buff, and if you can somehow make her swap captains 6 times, she actually could get up to 35% of her base attack increase. When you use your active skill, you get 1 more because, well, she swapped to the captain slot. So that's 10% increase. But when you look at Araya, she already just have 20% by using active skill. All in all, I think Yao is fine, but because Araya exists, I really cannot recommend people to summon for Yao unless you really like her design, like I always said. But gameplay standpoint, yeah, go for Araya instead. So the next one is our welfare unit. probably use both her. Momo and Anzu. And Momo and Nansu, the delicious delicacy. And she's a fire sniper with 3,178 attack. Not very high, but I guess because she's a welfare unit, they don't want to give her too much stats. Understandable. And her active skill, luxurious finish, has a 5-turn cooldown. The first time I see a 5-turn cooldown, my eyes light up. Wow, that's a big amount of cooldown, especially on such a unimpactful abilities. But actually, it's much lower than that because she reduced her active skill cooldown by 1 every round. So in reality, it's 3-turn cooldown at best. And if you are able to swap her to captain somehow, she can reduce up to 2 each round. So she could get 2 cooldown if you play her right. But that's not really gonna save her because her active skill is really trash. I don't know what Toro is thinking. Deal 88% damage 8 times to 1 random tile within 3 surrounding clusters, and then deal an additional 188% damage to the same tile and 1 surrounding clusters. What is this? A random tile? It's just gonna do nothing. And not to mention 3 surrounding clusters. Do you know how big is 3 surrounding cluster? That is humongous. That the range is almost a full map. And you are telling me he only does damage to 1 random tile? It's not gonna do any damage unless you got really lucky somehow hitting the boss. Even the boss take up the half of the map, you still have a chance to miss. Oh my god. I don't know. I think Momo Anzu is unsavable. She's bad. Unless you like playing with fire, I guess. Just random characters. Super random. Her whole kit is random. Let's look at her equipment. At the beginning of each round, Momo Anzu will become the captain automatically. This is what I said. This is what I said about her always reduce 1 cooldown every round because, well, she's always the captain. And because she reduces active skill cooldown by 1 when she's on the captain position. So yeah, while the rest of the team retreat 1 position. So it's pretty similar with Kayano's situation where Momo and Anzu will move up and the rest of the unit will move down. Each time Momo and Anzu become the captain, a special Kanya cuisine will be obtained with a 50% chance of getting 1 more. Another RNG here. 50% chance to get 1 more buff. And each time a special Kanya cuisine is obtained, choose 1 flavor from spicy, salty, and sweet and sour. Up to 9 times for each flavor. So you can potentially get her stack very high. So you can get the spicy stack maximum 9. So maximally, you can increase Momo and Anzu attack by 18%. That's not very high, but it is permanent, so there is that. Salty, increase Momo and Anzu defense by 5%, so maximally you can get up to 45% increased defense for Momo and Anzu. Fine, I guess. It's okay. And sweet and sour, she increased her max health by maximally 90%. Again, it's definitely nice amount of buff, but because there's a limit on how much you can get, you can't even cheese Momo and Nansu on the stage that have infinite swap. So the buff she does get capped. So yeah, I don't really think this equipment is gonna help this character a lot. Basically, it just say I'm always captain and sometimes I get some buff, which is pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of thing because the stack you have to build it up. You cannot get it all at the first turn. So over time you get stronger, but it's not a lot stronger anyway. Let's look at her chain combo. Unstable walk. 3 chain is 150% damage 2 times to a random enemy within 3 surrounding cluster. And if the target sustains damage more than once, the damage for every hit after the first one is reduced by half. So it's very similar to chain combos such as Luke or Zariel or Toru. And on the 13 chain, you can hit up to 4 times and every subsequent damage will be lower by half. You know, the chain combo is fine. It's pretty standard, very focused on doing higher damage for single town monsters. But I just cannot ignore the fact that her active skill is so goddamn trash. Why is it random? Even if you let me choose where you want to use it, it still wouldn't be OP. But the fact it's random already make it so much worse. You might as well not have any active skill. It's so bad, guys. It is so bad. Like 8 times is potentially a really good tool to deal with shield. However, it's random. Most likely you won't hit anything. You have to understand that. For example, if you're hitting a 1 tile monsters, there is pretty much only 3% chance you will hit the enemy. 3%. And if you're on the center of the map, the chance of hitting the enemy is even lower because there's more slot to be. The only way you can guarantee hit the monster is when the entire map is filled with monsters. Then you can potentially hit that specific monsters with your active skill. Okay, I think I have done enough shitting on this unit. But hey, at least we get her for free. Can't really complain, isn't it? But seriously, don't use her. And for the grand reveal of the final characters I'm gonna cover today, the mysterious and mischievous, the most overpowered unit, Turok. What? You don't believe me? I mean, look, there's art and all, and it's from the official Twitter. I mean, look, there's even a proof of me summoning for the units. What's his ability, you want to ask? Well, his active skill is release a skin and take $15 from your wallet. And let's not forget his equipment causes you emotional damage whenever you try to summon for a character you want. But all in all, I do understand this is pretty much an April Fool joke and they did not deliver in April Fool, so why should I? And it's pretty funny that they do this. They even make the animation and all. This is just a fun little joke. And hey, I always like to see a company don't take them too seriously. It really proves that they are not in it for the money. They just want to have fun with making games. And even here we see a little bit of a backstory for Turok here. So his inspiration to make a game started from a box of Umbreton game manuals in the market around Winter Palace. He was inspired to make a game after he acquired a box of game manuals originating from Umbreton at the market near the Winter Palace. Obviously, this is very in line with the Alchemy Stars world, but I can't really think outside of the box here. So I'll probably get the inspiration to make game by playing other games on maybe on a niche market, and you know, their dedication to make good art and potentially even game really shows. They really just want to make a good game instead of make money, and that's what I like to see. But of course, in order to maintain a game, money is needed. That's why you have skins, that's why you have gacha system and all. So don't hate them for it. Be more grateful that the game exists. And that's what I want to convey here. Thank you, Turok, for releasing such a wonderful game for us. So that's it for me today. Which unit do you like the most? Would you summon for Yao, Amemori? Let me know in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.